Hey, just a second. Turning my phone on vibrate so that doesn't interrupt me. Hey, it's your girl Neoshi. And I want to try to make this kind of short and sweet because I have some little ones over here that need my attention. But I want to share with you something that occurred during one of my sessions that most of you probably would have freaked out had it happened to you and you were the one conducting a session. But because I'm, aware of how to handle the situations and my view of those things may be a lot different from a lot of you. I was able to handle it and bring some resolve to it. Versus most people who probably would have freaked out whose views are different. So let's get into it. So basically, one of the few clients that I've had to go at a very deep level of trance. She's one of the few of them, a handful, I'd say maybe 3 of them. And this next state of trance, where they go really deep, they go deep to the point of they don't recollect anything that happened during the session. They don't remember anything that happened during the session. A lot of them think that they were sleeping. Well, all of them think that they were sleeping basically, and none of them, they remember nothing. And they're like, okay, so what just happened? We're done? And it's like, yeah, we're done. What do you remember? And it was like, I'm not sure. And so it's really interesting to see their reactions. But those, it's a handful of clients that usually go that deep. But in this particular instance, the client was, she basically, when I instructed her to go back to a time that contained important information for her today, or that day, what I initially thought was an attachment that came through. Let me start here, let me go back real quick. So when I instructed her to go back to a time that has important information for her, she immediately started describing a death scene, like how a death scene on how she died in a past life, which I thought was a past life. And then at some point I was like, wait a minute, because she kept describing it. I'm falling, 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 I'm falling. That's what she was saying. I was like, okay, I'm falling, I'm falling, I'm falling. I forget what she said specifically, but it was like, I'm falling, and then she would describe like water or like a house, a red door, like different things that were popping up during what she was experiencing, things she was experiencing. And she got so wrapped up into the I'm falling, red door, I can't move, stuff like that. It's like very, what some people might look at as being kind of traumatic, which it is in a traumatic event. Your death is always a traumatic issue. But the fact that she went there immediately, it kind of caught me off guard, because I had, I'm used to clients going to a death scene initially when I tell them to go to a time that has important information for them. But in the way that this one came through, it was very intense. And so I was like, okay. So I was guiding her out of that so that I can get some understanding of what was happening, because she just kept repeating and going over and over and over what was happening. And I didn't want to freak her out to the point where I wasn't able to get what we needed for that session. And so I tried to bring her out of it, not out of it, the trance, but out of that scene, that death scene that she kept re-experiencing. And so I said I was gonna make this short, so let me speed it up. Let me cut a few corners because I got to see the little one headed over here right now. So what ended up happening is she came. I brought her to a different scene to explain what was going on, and so it turns out she was a guy that, or it was a guy that had died by jumping off a mountain. He committed suicide because of his role that he played and so many people dying, and he couldn't live with it, and so he committed suicide by jumping off of a mountain. And so once we got to the end of that, I ended up realizing or finding out that or what I did was I asked certain questions to find out if this was a past life or if this was an attachment, because a lot of what I was seeing was showing me signs that it was an attachment versus it being really a past life. And so when I say seeing, I mean that I actually saw it, seemed like things that I would gather, like things that I was trained to look out for. So I found out that it wasn't actually, it wasn't a past life, and it actually wasn't an attachment. It was actually a spirit that was in the client's home at that time that came through and used her as a communication tool to kind of come through. The client, the spirit that was in the house said that it had been there for, I forget right now, but he said it had been his parents' house. It was his parents' house. I know it's from like early 1900s or something like that. That his parents had owned that house and lived there. And he was just hanging around. I forget why. I know it was an unresolved issue, but it was he was hanging around. So after I helped him get to the problem of what the issue of why he was hanging around and helped him make peace with himself and being able to move forward, we assisted him with moving to the light. And so that was really cool. It was amazing. And then we continued the session, and lo and behold, when I tried to take her to another important event that contained information for her, another spirit came through again and again. I was trying to, initially I thought it was attachment. It wasn't. It turned out to be another spirit that was in the house. This time it was the spirit of a little girl who had died years previously. When the little girl died, she died in a house that was just a few blocks from my client's house. And she was describing certain things, etc. And I asked, why are you there? What's going on? So I just, I like to be there to hold her hand. I sometimes sleep with her in the bed sometimes at night. And I'm laughing because I know a lot of you are going to be like, what the hell are you doing messing with these spirits, girl? The spirits going to get you. You better be careful. These spirits, you can't be messing with that stuff, that's devilish stuff. And like, listen, these are not exorcism. These are people like you and I who died a certain death and for some reason weren't able to move on. And so they hung around, you admit to knowing that spirits are real, that they exist, and that because we are spirits, clearly, right? We're clearly spirits operating in a human body. This is just a machine, a vessel. Because when we pass on, of course, we step out of this suit and we go into our true form, which is the spirit form. And so these spirits, for some reason, instead of going to the light, they stayed around. And so once I helped her resolve that issue, she was able to go back to the light. And the whole time, my client, she stayed in that deep trance, etc. And I say that because a lot of people, if you're experiencing this and you feel anything that you feel uncomfortable, you can easily open your eyes and be like, I don't want to do this. This is crazy. Something, I don't know what's going on here. I don't want to. But most of my clients, thankfully, are more open-minded. They're not afraid of things of that nature because they understand that we too are spirits. Everyone is spirits, and we have a certain level of awareness. And so I'm thankful not to have clients like that because that would be kind of troublesome for me because I love to work with people who are more open-minded, who are more aware and more conscious of the reality of themselves and life, etc. So anyway, I just came to share that with y'all in the sense of like letting you know that this work is really amazing. When I do work, I don't work like this is not me, like who's doing the work. I'm a very small part of this whole plan, very small part of this whole process. When we do sessions, God is in the room, source, creators in the room, their clients' guides are in the room, my guides are there, ancestors are present. Like they have come together to put the whole situation together to allow the client to receive whatever help and assistance that they need. And so when I do this work, it's not in fear. You know, it's all about your intention. What are you going in when you're doing this? Oh, I forgot to put my mic on. I hope you guys can hear me. But it's all about your intention when you're moving, guiding clients through this session. You know, I don't do this in fear. I don't move in fear. I don't operate in fear. You know, it's all about your perception and your intention. At the beginning of each session, I do a prayer. Yes, I protect myself because I'd be crazy to say that, you know, I don't think that spirits can attach, because clearly they can. The large part of my work is helping people get rid of spirit attachments that are affecting them. And so I do protect myself. Do I think that a spirit can hop through a computer and come to me? No, because most of my sessions are remote. But at the same time, I understand that I know that spirits attach to you based on your frequency of vibration. If you're vibrating at a very low level, then it's more of a chance that a spirit can attach to you. And for my sessions, whenever I speak to an attached spirit, I always ask them what was going on with that client at that time that allowed you to attach to them. And a lot of times it'll be, oh, they had a parent die, or they were depressed, or they were lonely, and it could be at any age. Spirits attached to people at any age, whether they're infants, young adults, teens, grown-ups, whatever, rich, poor, you know, any race, it doesn't matter. They don't discriminate. So if you're there and you're open enough to a point and you're vibrating at a level that allows them to match your frequency, then they will attach if they feel they can and they want to. And so, moral of the story, keep your vibrations high, but also know that this work is bigger than me. It's bigger than you. Yes, as far as clients that I see, it's about them and I'm helping receive the work that they need. But we're really doing God's work and assisting not just clients, but also assisting those who are spirits who are waiting around and confused and not know what to do, don't know their way to the light, holding on to pain or suffering and can't move forward. And so a big part of that is helping them as well. And so, yeah. So yeah, I work with spirits. Most of you, but not in the way that most of you would, look at it, like some exorcism stuff. But I am I'm grateful to do the work that I do. I know that I'm walking in my purpose. I know that I'm, assisting people with the things that they're not able to do on their own. And I'm grateful for it. Yeah. I'm sitting here thinking about all the inboxes and the emails and texts I'm gonna get with people talking crazy stuff. But anyway, yeah, I'm grateful. And so, yeah, if you have any other questions or information that you want to know about sessions or what I do, of course, you can always contact me via whatever form of contact. If you're watching on social media, of course, you can inbox me or whatever. But you can also go to my website, neoshihypno.com, neoshihypno.com. And yeah, we can connect. Yeah, okay, so I gotta go because the little one's getting a little restless right now. But yeah, and so thanks for watching. I'll chat with y'all later. Peace.